Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, spear shall be shaken, shield shall be splintered, a sword day, a red day, ere the sun rises, as Hera, playing as the Poles in blue, gets ready to take on Lewis, playing as the Georgians in red. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Oink oink. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we will be watching today. Now, the Poles are a civilization that likes to focus on its cavalry. Not only do they pay half the food cost for the Bloodlines tech, their scout line upgrades are also 50% less food. And if you decide to make use of these scout line units, they do come with a small attack bonus against archers and can be upgraded to do trample damage, which can be very, very helpful in the late stages of the game, since the Poles are one of the only two civs in the game to have their hussars replaced with winged hussars, which are already tankier and stronger than normal hussars, then come with an attack bonus against gunpowder and an even bigger attack bonus against monks. Now, usually Hera plus hussars equals bad news bears for his opponent. Let's see what Hera plus winged hussars means here for Lewis. Now, if you don't want to play with light cav, you want to go straight for the heavy, well, the Pole Knight, the Pole Cavalier can be upgraded so that he costs a lot less gold. And when I say a lot, I mean it. Oh my goodness, Lewis, 2 minutes into the game, is already here. Okay, well, he knows where Hera is. Hera better be careful to collect all of his Piggly Wigglies real quick. Otherwise, his opponent might see them and take them. This one might be a risk. Ooh, let's keep an eye on this pig. In any event, the upgrade I'm talking about, Schlachter Privilege, reduces the cost of Nightline units for the Poles from 75 to 30, which means you can start spam-a-lama-ding-dong your heavy cavalry units starting in the Castle Age. Now, to back up your cavalry on the field of battle, the Pole can field a pretty cool, unique unit, the Obuch. This is a tanky, well-armored infantry unit whose attack actually reduces both the melee and the pierce armor of its opponent by 1, with each swipe of its giant oversized warhammer. Now, to support the production of their cavalry units, their stone miners also generate gold. Not a bad ratio, too. 1 gold for every 3 stone gathered. Their farmers have access to a unique structure called the Folwark. We'll see once Hera plops one down next to these berries. Basically, what happens here is the Folwark creates an aura. If you seed a farm within that aura, 8% of that farm's value gets automatically added to your bankroll, leaving only 92% left for you to till. Oh, and by the way, if that's not cool enough for you, it also provides 5 population rooms. So think about it like almost like a Age of Empires bed and breakfast. Now, Pole villagers, by the way, here it is, the Folwark. It looks like a blacksmith icon, but it's a Folwark if I click on it. So any farm seated here, 8% of it automatically gets added to your bankroll, 92% left. And again, you'll see why there's a little cute little nook on top that provides a bit of housing room. Now, as I was about to say, finally, and last but not least, the Pole villager herself can be harder to rate, since starting in the Feudal Age, they do regenerate HP. Now, speaking of regenerating HP in the Feudal Age, let's take a look at the Georgians. Also a cavalry-centric civilization, also one that has some pretty powerful supporting features. To start with, all of their mounted units automatically regenerate HP starting in the Feudal Age. I kind of want to remove the fog of war to see if there's any pigs left, because Hera's still looking, which tells me there might be some pigs. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. They're right here. There's a couple of neutral pigs, but Lewis has gone right by them, and he's going to go get his neutral pigs. All right, so never mind. I got real excited over nothing. Looks like Hera. No, never mind. He's not looking for pigs at all. He's pushing deer. Well, there you go. I got real excited. I thought Lewis was going to perform some kind of shenanigans, but our Georgian, in any event, in addition to their mounted units automatically regenerating HP starting in the Feudal Age, all of their mounted units can be upgraded to take up 15% less population space. Both of these features, by the way, help them mask their unique unit, the Monaspa. This is a heavily armored cavalry unit whose attack actually goes up when there are other Monaspas or Nightline units in the vicinity. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, very important for the Georgians to take the high ground in any engagement they can, because when they fight downhill, their units and buildings take 40% less damage compared to the usual 25%. That help the Georgians build as big and powerful an army as possible. They do start every single game with a free donkey cart, and once, hopefully, Lewis puts down a fortified church, well, any worker within an 8-tile radius works 10% faster doing whatever the heck that worker is doing, whether it's gathering food, gathering stone, gathering gold, whatever it is, they all work 10% faster. The Georgian economy can be made harder to raid because repairing structures is a lot easier since it costs 25% fewer resources. Their defensive structures, which includes their town centers, can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage. So if you place a few of those strategically around your base, you shouldn't really be taking that much damage. Speaking of taking and not taking, what's going on with these Piggly Wigglies? Has Hera just assumed that his opponent has stolen his pigs? Because Hera's scout is on this side of the world. And now, with Loom, there you go. Look at that. Here's what's going to be real cool. Huh. So it's not the original scout. It's the follow-up scout from our Georgian. If you take a look at the Pole Villager, a regeneration rate of 10. If you take a look at the Georgian Cavalryman in Feudal Age, it's the regeneration rate of 5 HP. And then 10 in Castle, 15 in Imperial, if we're lucky enough to see these two battle beasts go into Imperial. For now, it is Lewis who is pressing in, which might give us an opportunity to take a look at where Hera's resources are. I don't mind this at all. Stone and gold, nice and secure to the back. And then extra gold and stone, all three in the very, very forward position. Forests, not really too terrible. I mean, I don't know what this is. Like a little tiny mini forest? Okay, maybe like one of those little bonsai trees compared to like an actual real huge tree. But he's got some decent coverage. Unfortunately, the forests are quite small, which means he will mine them out, jack them out. Ooh, gotta be real careful to keep it PG-13 sometimes when I'm talking about jacking my wood or players jacking their wood on this map, because there's a lot of people, yours truly included, whose imaginations can run wild when they hear certain words. Why are there... Oh, these pigs are on exploration duty. Okay, so our Georgian not that hungry at the moment. And Hera already with some farms seated inside this aura. So far, no kills. Action firmly being dictated here by our Georgian in red. So I cannot pivot away to look at Lewis's base, as he unfortunately suffers the first death in the game, and Hera draws first blood. Although it looks like there might be a revenge. There it is. Revenge is a dish best served immediately after. And all of a sudden, another kill, and we're sitting at 4 kills total. So, Spearmen doing what Spearmen do best, which is taking down men on horses as they thrust their shafts towards them. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I did it again. My goodness, just kill him already, and down he goes. Lewis takes a 3-7 kill lead, which, by the way, includes a villager. Ooh, and okay, things not looking too good here for our poll in terms of that little engagement. It looked pretty even for a second, and then all of a sudden just spiraled completely out of control in the favor of our Georgian. Primary gold and stone also, by the way, secure in the back for our Georgian, and he also has extra gold and stone to the forward position, but unlike Hera, his tertiary gold is a little bit more safe off the attack path. Let's take a look at the attack path, because I did not do that yet. So the bases are oddly located, one in like the 8 o'clock position, one in the 3 o'clock position. Lots and lots of forests, and good news for our Georgian, lots and lots of hills. Okay, I mean, you don't have to be a Tatar to take advantage of the 50% higher attack. 40% defense bonus is pretty damn strong. We saw the other day, actually we saw yesterday, the Georgians as well, their castles taking an absolute beating on the high ground, getting repaired, double whammy with the cheaper repair cost and the high ground defensive bonus. So it is a pretty powerful feature not to be scoffed at and not to be taken lightly, as is this one villager who finds herself in the middle of nowhere. She dies. What was the, I'm trying not to cough. I'm laughing so hard to myself. What was the Lisa Simpson poem? Something about Snowball. She died. She died. She lied. She lied. Anyway, that villager farming a little bit too far away from safety bites the dust. And now Lewis kills 2 villagers to 0, 8 kills to 4. Wall offs for both players non-existent beyond a little bit of a attempt here. I think they're both just focused on Ooh, is that a... Okay, that's an actual blacksmith. It's hard to tell. I was going to say, tell me that's not a Folwark right next to another Folwark. But no, that's an actual blacksmith here, as now Hera doubles down on his Bloodlines upgrade. And remember, for the Poles, that does not cost 150 food. It's only 75 food. I wonder why they gave him that 75 food discount when they already have so much food-related stuff. Features and bonuses and discounts. Where are you going? 4 villagers. And not... I should have been more clear. I wonder why they didn't include a 50% gold discount as well. Seems like the Poles, it's just all about food, food, food. But Schlachter is not exactly a food bonus. It's a gold bonus. Lewis being chased back all the way to his base, which is pretty darn open. And Hera with Bloodlines and how many? No fewer than 8 scouts, although it used to be 9 a second ago. No fewer than 8 scouts is not going to have any problem dive bombing into here. Taking a little bit of damage and then running around that base, getting as many kills as he possibly can. Okay. Tinkle, tinkle, go the spearmen as they again spit roast one of Lewis's spearmen this time. But look at how hard it is to kill a Georgian on the high ground. I did not have it on my bingo card that Hera would lose a spearman there. I thought for sure 2v1 would have been pretty darn simple and pretty darn A to B when it comes to you see him, he kills, and he wins. But 40% less damage is 40% less damage. Another villager for Hera. So they're moving forward with a tower push, but discovered immediately Lewis is just not letting Hera get any kind of traction in this game. And he again takes the hill. He is sticking to these hills like whatever insert your favorite expression here is. But so far, fantastic. I love when players play to their Civ strengths and their Civ features and their Civ whatever characteristics, whatever makes their Civ unique. Now, you might want to chill a little bit. Look at their HP, by the way. It is going up 5 HP per minute per scout. So 444, 445, 446. So you don't exactly need a monk, but you got to chill a little bit. Hera's army, though, to be fair, is not exactly perfectly healthy itself. How many scouts are we working with for both players? 9 for Hera, 11 for our Georgian. Both of them have Bloodlines. One paid a discounted rate, which allowed him to almost but not really afford another scout. And the deterring unit is dead. No more spearmen for Lewis. Ooh, this guy's taking a few pokes. No more deterrent, which means that Hera's just going to dive bomb right into here. And he's back with villagers. Okay, didn't like the location of tower number 2, attempt number 2. Now attempt number 3. But Lewis has 5 villagers to Hera's 4. Pardon me, 3 to Hera's 4. And Lewis is doing to Hera what Hera loves to do to everyone else. Hey, you're attacking into me? Let me just shove my army right into your face. We'll keep an eye on what's going on in front of Lewis's base with the big cavalry battle that we all want to see. Oh, is he going to get one more villager? Definitely gets one more villager. Oh my goodness. Lewis is just being an absolute menace right now. Where are these guys going? He is just being an absolute menace. In South Central. No, I forget the rest of the name of that movie. Don't be a menace in South Central while holding juice or something like that. But slowly, surely, Hera is taking a, Hera can take some losses. His military micro may not always be 100% on point, but what you can bet against is if you don't take a crowbar to the knee of his economy, he will return strong, like the $1 Million Man, stronger, better, tougher. And look at the army counts. He might be down 6 villagers. There's a difference of 5 villagers in terms of kills. But look at his army count, 17. He is replenishing his army. He is making use of these folwarks. He's not walled in his base at all. And so you really need to take a crowbar to the knees of the best player in the world if you really want to do damage. Now, the question is, did Lewis do the damage? He is in castle a lot quicker than Hera. Maybe that's why there's that massive disparity in army count. Probably doesn't explain all of it. But Hera's being annoying to the north. Hera's being annoying to the south. These are just little things that Lewis is going to have to deal with eventually. Excusez-moi? Stonewall. All right. Well, there you go. Hera. I mean, when's the last time we saw a pro player putting down a stone wall? That's bonkers. So Hera is taking this threat seriously. He's still a minute away from castle himself. And I love that he's dragging his mouse, making sure there's no gaps here. 2 stables. Is that? No, 3 stables. He's got 3 stables, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful. There's no point in walling yourself off like crazy on this side and then jacking your wood too hard and leaving a freaking opening on this side. There is no point in that. Spearman dies. One last Feudal Age unit for our pole is patrolling the rear here. This is what I was talking about. Look, it's so adorable with the little bed and breakfast up top. Little mill. I'm assuming this is like the little outhouse where if you need to, you know, do your business at night. Bear market comes for this villager's retirement. She says, not today. I invested in ETFs. You can go up and down, but I'm still going to ride it out. As a bunch of Georgian knights show up. And now it's Lewis's turn to be everywhere, be annoying, and try to bust into his opponent's base. Hera is upgrading his scouts to light cav. He's getting husbandry as well. Does Lewis have? He already does have husbandry. He's getting iron casting. The upgrades for these players, I mean, this is about as high level Age of Empires as you could possibly get. Second TC for our Georgian. Ooh, okay. Kind of in the middle of nowhere. Second TC for our pole. Also, off to the side, not really in the middle of anything. So Hera says, you know what? I've got a whole bunch of scouts left. Mine don't really regenerate HP, but by sheer volume, I think I can get something done here. And so his scouts become light cav. He's starting to train 2 knights of his own. He's got 6 villagers on stone to the 0 of our Georgian. To be fair, the Georgian army still shellacks this Pole army in a 1-to-1, even though he's outnumbered 2-to-1. Soon the outnumbering will be lower and lower as the Georgian army reinforces. So is this the name of the game here? I'm curious as to what Hera wants to do right now. He has a getting a conversion is nice. He has a massive army, but it's light cav. So what is the long-term, or forget even the long-term, what's the next step? I'm very curious to know. Because if you're just trying to shoo away, you know, you're stuffing like a sock into your underwear, trying to make yourself look bigger than you are by just having sheer volume here. That's one thing, but you can only posture for so long until somebody calls your bluff and says, all right, whip it out. And a castle going up internal. Third TC going up for our Georgian. Getting devotion, both of them getting mining upgrades. I believe I saw Hera get his. Wheelbarrow for our Georgian, so he can at least catch up. Villager count, he's ahead just a little bit. 7 villagers, he's down 4 army count. I would love to see some Obuch, but that's because I would just always love to see some Obuch. I mean, the unit basically leaves your opponent naked and afraid. Hera has no wood whatsoever. The last 100 was spent on this. He is mining stone, and there's Schlachter. Okay, so how many stables do we have now? All right, he added 1 more. And now he's going to start training 30 gold knights. Villager lead now down to 5. But army count lead is also narrowing, so we're seeing a bit of an equalization of civilizations here. 2 relics already for Lewis. For a second, I thought the horse was his scout, like on one of those mega random maps, but no, it was just moving in tandem. just ever so in tandem with that monk. And here we go. Let's see. Again, this is, to be fair, they are fully healed, or have been healed. But this is a fairly large army of light cavalry units. The question is, what the hell can it do? Where can it shove into? There's a gap in here. And is that where Hera's going to try to shove himself? I mean, if he could get this somehow in Age of Empires to teleport that into here, oh man, that's going to be like 10 dead villagers in the blink of an eye. He sends half of them forward, they retreat. And now Lewis is going monk hunting. He gets one of them. That's not bad. The other one, will he convert this knight? He does. I don't think he did. No, the monk died as well. So a series of unfortunate events here for these Pole monks who die literally one on top of the other. Okay. A very awkward position. Have to explain to the Covenant what exactly happened there. Or the Convent, the Covenant. And there we go. Lewis sees the stone mining operation. Hera thought he was being cheeky and clever by mining the stone furthest away and not the one in the forward position. But Lewis discovers it with this monk who's out looking for relics. There is a relic right here. And the light cav are moving in. Oh, they're going to pounce. They're going to be so annoying, aren't they? But I see bigger blobs moving in the center. He sees the castle. He's going to try to contest this. Again, Georgian on the high ground. Lewis, don't be so quick to abandon the high ground here. Looks like those light cavalry units did close in on the villagers. We'll keep an eye on that. Now it's Red Monk turn to die holding hands. But Hera's light cav. Looks like they sniped 1 or 2 villagers en route to running or chasing half this Georgian army away, and the castle's up. Hera has to get the hell out of here. And now he's being chased in 2 directions. Okay, so his light cav came in, slaughtered those 2 light cav. Monk remains undiscovered. And now the knights have the very unfortunate job of having to chase light cavalry. You're not going to catch up to them. You know you're not going to catch up to them. Monk looks like he got a conversion but then died. Is he going to try to reconvert it? We are just seeing cavalry battles left, right, and center, but Hera's light cav count is starting to dwindle. He's only got 8 left, but does he give a rat's ass? He's up to 33 knights. And little by little, they are pressing into here. Buildings are on fire. At the same time, Lewis does exactly the same thing. He is shoving straight into the Hera's flank. But a little bit too late as the castle's already up, and all of a sudden there's just way too much action on the minimap. Again, knights are unfortunately chasing light cav, but you know what? The light cav stopped. Smoke break. Looks like Hera's knights have managed to bust their way in, but a castle is going to be their greeting committee, holding up a sign that says, "Welcome, Pole Knights. Welcome to hell." At the same time, it looks like Lewis is trying to ransack the rear of Hera's base. There are so many knights here for blue, but there are so many knights for red as well. Both players tearing into one another. Let's see what's actually going on. We got the same monk here hanging out on the left side. Villagers have all died here to the north. Villagers are dying here in the center. Okay, but Pole Castle is doing the exact same thing as Georgian Castle. 11 kills. Actually, 0 kills. Pardon me, we just saw its first. The castle just popped its cherry. And now it's starting to get more and more kills. Hera running around trying to get some stone miners here, but Manaspas are out. Unfortunately, in no great quantity. Only 2 means nothing. So they're stuck on their 12 plus iron casting, which, to be fair, is higher than the Knight's 10. Okay, finally, our Georgian garrisons his villagers inside. 1 Manaspa should be able to help out here. I don't know if he's going to make it, but he's definitely going to help out. He does make it. On the other side of the map, the Knight, for our Georgian, taking a lot of arrow fire. How many vills will he kill before he himself? Did he? He's going after the relic. Oh my god, the balls on Lewis. Hera notices, says, not on my watch, MF. Not on my watch. I mean, come on. The sheer cojones on Lewis in the middle of all of that, surrounded by outposts and buildings in line of sight, to try to take that relic. First of all, what the hell was the last 5 minutes of this game? There was just anarchy everywhere. And despite Hera's push into here, did he really get that much accomplished? 26 villager kills to 36. So he didn't really get too far into here. But now he's back for round 2. This time, though, there are not knights to greet him, but Manaspas. And this time there's 16 of them. So he does get, I believe, a +2 boost. Although now they're dying, so it's down to +1. And Lewis is heading up to Imperial. He's got 2 extra castles, both on the high ground. I love it. What I don't love is these lazy bastards just hanging out here while villagers in donkey carts bray and die. FYI, the Manaspa is faster than the knight and should be able to catch up very quickly. Although it does, for some reason, it feels like both of them are moving very, very slow, almost like in slow motion. And look at Hera abusing the line of sight. Deeks left goes right, but Lewis, he's not having any of it. He sees it with the building line of sight. What a fantastic, fancy maneuver out of our Pole, who continues plopping down outposts, although attracting the attention of a bear. This is going to go very, very poorly for these knights. And poorly indeed. Yuck. Disgust. All right, villager did manage to survive the bear attack. And now her regeneration rate is 15 HP per minute. I mean, I keep coming back to a few minutes ago, maybe a few minutes ago. It's already been 7 or 8 minutes when the map was just on fire. And now the players licking their wounds. Kill count a little bit ahead for Lewis, both in villager and total kill count. But not that crazy a disparity, about 15%, 20%. He has to back away. He's going to lose a few villagers here as well. And manages to get this one outpost constructing villager too. That is a good get. No more eyeballs on the map for you. By the way, lots and lots of outposts, which I love out of both of these players. You can tell that these two have played that 100-game series and know each other's play style, and that Hera coached Lewis. You can see. You can tell. These players are just absolutely tearing into one another in grand similar fashion. And we are about to see elite Manaspas. I'm assuming Hera, once he hits Imperial in 10 in a minute, is going to upgrade his knights to Cavaliers, assuming he continues to go then to knight play. Ooh, managing to get a villager right before getting destroyed there is a good get. And then we're going to have elite Manaspas versus Cavaliers. Now that is in no way a fair fight in terms of attack. But remember, the Manaspa's HP is so not good. So it's going to be about 140 HP to 100. But the attack, potentially 22 to what, 16? So let's see. Yeah, okay, there it is. Right away, Cavalier. How many are you here? 31. Okay, so now he's got the full +4 with Iron Casting +6. And now he's getting Blast Furnace, so that's going to be +8, capping out at 22 attack. 20 freaking 2 attack. Villager, undeterred by the death of his former workmate, is moving out onto the map. And again, a bit of a peaceful lull and cessation of hostilities. We're getting fervor, block printing, and theocracy. So the monks are going to be tougher. Or, pardon me, the monks are going to be faster. They're going to be able to convert from further away. And a bunch of them convert. Only one of them loses his faith. It's an odd way of saying it. I would think if you manage to convert an enemy unit, your faith should be improved, no? Like, look, hey, look what I can do. Oh my god, so many dead blue monks. Hera loses all of his monks yet again. And the elite Manaspa versus the... Oh, I said 16 attack. Pardon me, he does not have Blast Furnace. 22 attack versus 14. But again, the 140 HP here versus 100. I believe the attack speed should be the same at 1.8. Yeah. And what's the melee armor? Come on, it's not even fair. 8 melee armor on the Manaspa. What is it, 4 on the Cavalier? So literally the only thing the Cavalier has going for it is its HP. And yet again, the map is on fire. Manaspa attacking an outpost. Hera shoving in a bunch of Cavaliers, but now there's pikemen as well as Manaspas, as well as a whole bunch of static defense. I'm going to count at the end how many fortified churches our Georgian has, because remember, the villagers can just run into those fortified churches and fire arrows as if they're in a town center. Not too sure what's happening here behind the pulpit of the market. Manaspas are shoving into the center of Hera's base and not running into any kind of economy of any sort at the moment, at risk of a few conversions. And finally, that random Feudal Age spearman finds himself useful after 50 minutes as he pokes one of the Manaspas. And here we go, they found the lush farmlands of the Poles, and they're gonna go straight for those villagers. Looks like another castle face-off here right in front of Hera's base. And yet again, somehow, little by little, every engagement, our Pole just falls farther and farther behind. The spearman, by the way, did survive, has 1 kill. Not too sure if that's from before or if that's from now. More villagers have been killed here. Ouch. Another outpost falls. But there are some vills up here to the north. This is so incredible. Wait, did he relocate this castle? Certainly does seem like it. I feel like the castle was a lot closer before. One player is training trebuchets. This might be the only game I've seen in the last year where the second the pro player hits Imperial Age, he or she does not train trebuchets immediately, just because they're so busy ripping into one another. Will he save the outpost? He does, by the skin of its, what do you want to say, canopy teeth? Manaspas go chasing more castles going up for our Georgian. He's going to go up to 5 castles. And I think I just heard a villager die. But where was that? Oh my goodness. And again, yet again, the players break off from one another. Lewis. Oh my god, he's rich as man Samusa. Halberdier, Bracer, Svan Towers, Asnauri Cavalry, and Siege Engineers. I mean, architecture, I think I saw, is not exactly the most expensive, but those are not cheap upgrades and technologies. To be fair, the unique techs are not that gold intensive for the Georgians. But Halberdier, Siege Engineers, 2 unique techs all at once is a pretty baller move out of our Georgian, who is at 200 population and is about to destroy Hera's only other castle and only castle on the front lines, which means if Hera wants to get a treb out now, he's gonna have to roll all the way from the south here. And the field of battle divided by a forest lumberjacks, a stable. Hera's going for the treb. He's gonna get one, he's gonna get another one for sure. Will he get the third? Doesn't seem like it. It is being repaired. Blue villagers dead everywhere. More action to the south of the map. Infrastructure galore here for our Georgian. All barracks. You'd think he was the Goth. The Goths. Pardon me. Another treb pops out. Another treb just barely survives. But to be fair, there are 40 Cavaliers here. And Manaspa numbers are low. He is replacing them with 30 Halberdiers at a time, but here we go. I don't think the Treb's going to survive this time. It will if it's not attacked, but it finally does get targeted, destroyed. Hera's up to 9 monks. They probably thought they were going to be converting Cavaliers, but no, they're converting Halberdiers. And that's it. No more Trebs. Oh, sorry. I said architecture before. Now he's getting architecture. Lou's getting a slew of economic upgrades as well. Oh, a Cavalier shoving himself into here, killing Lumberjacks. More Cavaliers killing more Lumberjacks. This is the moment Lewis cannot be distracted. This is what Hera loves to do. He says so in his streams. I just have to raid. I just have to send units to the other side of the map. It doesn't matter if they do damage. I have to distract my opponent. I have to shift his focus, pull it apart, pick it apart. But Lewis isn't falling for it. The majority of his army is still here in the front. But where are the Trebs? Where are the heavy blow dealers? Although, to be fair, there's no castle here at all. The monastery with one relic is not close at all, so maybe he doesn't really need Trebs. He just needs to press. At the same time, it looks like Lewis is adding another castle to the rear of his base. Castle just went up, and it looks like he's going to start killing those Cavaliers. And with that castle going up, holy moly! Lewis not giving Hera a moment's peace this entire game. When was it? Literally minute 2.5. I wasn't even halfway through my poll introduction. I think I was just getting to Schlachte, and Lewis was already here with his scout, looking for Piggly Wigglies, looking for whatever it was he was looking for. And for literally an hour, minus a few times when the players kind of, disengaged and took a second to rebuild their armies and whatever, it has just been nonstop action out of these two players. 390 kills to 270. Wow. That is impressive. And by the way, 270 kills. They weren't exactly skirmishers or halberdiers. And by the way, did we train a single ranged unit? Did we train a single archery range unit this entire game? I don't think either player did. Wow. How many barracks, by the way? 16 barracks. 7 castles. And how many fortified churches? Only 5. Interesting. Looks like Hera did build another stable up here with these 2 undiscovered villagers. Yeah, he hasn't even explored up here, even though if he goes and attacks his outpost, he probably will see the stable. Wow, those are some good numbers out of our Georgian. And Georgians are just proving themselves yet again to be super powerful, super tough nut to crack. 7 stables, how many full-works? 12 full-works. Again, every time you put a farm down in one of these, every time 8% gets added to your coffers. I'm a little surprised, not gonna lie, NGL, that we did not see a single winged hussar out of our poll after having those light cavalry units for a while. Now remember, for the polls, the upgrades are cheaper. So winged hussar costs 50% less food, so 600 becomes 300. Although it is a pretty darn expensive upgrade, a lot more than the regular hussar, which I think is 600 gold, right? Yeah, 500, 600 versus 600, 800. But if you add in Lachitic Legacy, which is another 550 gold, oh my god, yeah, Hera just doesn't have the resources for this. But it would have been absolutely epic to see some Lachitic Legacy trample damage winged hussars. But Lewis, oh my, he's even here. How the hell am I going to capture all this in picture is my big concern right now. How do I, as an observer of this game, which, who's kidding who, this game was a work of art. They didn't have many huge engagements. They had pretty sizable armies for a while. And they had, 30 knights for you, 20 Manaspas, 30 knights for me. But there was never really one big, massive, cataclysmic clash. It was just these kind of medium level, not small engagements, but I feel like medium engagements over and over and over again. And every time Lewis would just pull ahead a little bit more, 101 kills to 63. So this game was just, again, a cavalry work of art. And how do I, as a caster, as an observer, do this justice when there's just action everywhere and the players are microing like bonkers? I mean, I expect their APMs to both be above 200 right now. Oh, what? I just did like a cartoonish, like my hands went up to my head and my head just started shaking. What? 192 Cavaliers to 100 Manaspas. This is a little surprising. Only 42 knights. This is what I was talking about. They had such big armies, but they didn't clash. And so they didn't need to replenish the army over and over. So the numbers were really, at the end of the day, quite low for both players. 25 conversions. What do we think? How many conversions do we think Hera got at the end of the day? 25 monks. Have a think. It's definitely less than 25. Actually, no, it's not. I was going to say otherwise the unit would show up here, but it could be 24 halberdiers and 24 manaspas to make it 48. I'm going to say 30. I'm going to say a little bit more than the numbers here, because usually they get a conversion, then they die. But a bunch of them died in that one terrible engagement where he lost like 7 monks. I don't know how many conversions. I'm going to say 25 to 30. PKPM halfway through PKPM, right at the beginning of the game. And here we go, economy. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. 20,000 bigger economy for our Georgian. Wow. Relic gold, look at the difference. 3,000 relic gold. Basically makes the difference here. Wow. A little bit more stone, a little bit more food, a lot more wood. They both jacked a lot of wood. Maybe our Georgian a little bit too much. The hell did he need all that wood for? Well, excuse me, about 1 billion barracks. That's what he needed all that wood for. 36. Okay, well, there you go. 36 to 3, 17 raisings to 14 raisings, but 30. I saw 25 to 30 conversions. No, 36 conversions. And kudos to Lewis for just non-stop aggression, non-stop activity. And every time he would aggress and Hera pressed into him, cool as a cucumber, did not lose his shit, just kept pressing, did the exact same thing when Hera pressed into him, he would send out army. I mean, there were 2 moments in this game, or 2 time periods, I should say, in this game, where both players had armies on both sides of the map. And I'm going to try to do that justice with picture-in-picture, but the bottom line is, who cares about my picture-in-picture? The real story is they're insane micro. And so I'm really surprised that it's below 200 for both players. That is, and with Lewis peaking at literally the 10-second mark of the game. Cool as a cucumber. Wow. What an absolute fun game. There's really not much to say after a whole hour, almost over 600 kills. Only 6 more kills, and I could have said the sign of the beast, 666 kills, but we're at 660 kills after 60 minutes. And our Victor Lewis with the Manaspa halberdier transition at the end. Just like I said, every engagement taking a one closer step to the W, and Hera just being pressed back more and more and more. He lost a little bit less here, a little bit less there, a little bit less everywhere, and now he's getting his resources taken right from underneath his very nose. By the way, he should be able to see this. Yeah, he sees the stone thievery, he sees the gold thievery. He knows his army is kaput. He's got nothing left here but light cav and 11 monks. Oh my goodness, 11 monks. Looks like 6 of them do have full faith though. Okay, well, there you go. I guess once this castle went up and his raiding on the other side of the map is donezo, there's not too much, even from this stable, that he can really do. I mean, either the unit goes this way or the unit goes that way. Either way, it's taking castle fire. So, I mean, kudos to our Georgian, taking high ground fights, high ground castles, pressing in with Manaspas, and Hera just, again, step by step by step, kept falling further and further behind. And Lewis takes the W after a bloody, literally almost hour of gameplay, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.